Welcome to CJ DIY. I am C, and today I got new spring and Easter decor for you. I'm gonna show you how quick and easy I made them. I am using one oval wood slice that I picked up from Michael's. I'm gonna be using decoupage sheet, this beautiful cheeky from Decoupage Central. I'm gonna have the link in my description box, and simply and easy we're gonna decoupage it on top of this wooden slice. First, I'm going around the edges, see which part is gonna go on the wood slice. I don't want this sheet to cover the dark wooden frame around the sign, so I want to be very careful when I'm adding the Mod Podge to not cover that darker brown frame around. So with my sponge brush, I am going around the light wooden color and make sure the Mod Podge is layered enough. There is not a lot amount of it, because when you make a decoupage, you gotta make sure how you add a right amount of Mod Podge so you don't get bubbles or wrinkles. So when I add the first part, I'm just smoothing it out with my fingers, and now I'm gonna do the same thing all over the sign with the Mod Podge and the decoupage sheet. If you never worked with decoupage pieces before, I would suggest first thing that you try on is those rice sheets. You can even print out your own image. Just grab some rice sheets from Amazon. Amazon is carrying those. I tried those before. And print out your favorite image and try it, and you're gonna see how beautiful it works. It's gonna look like that piece was originally on your sign, just like that. So now when I transfer the whole sheet on my wood slice, to get my vintage rustic edges, I just use my lighter to get rid of the edges of the decoupage sheet, and to smooth it out I just use my sanding sponge. And that's it for this quick and easy beautiful piece. To smooth it even more out, even if it was not necessary, I just grab my parchment paper and my mini press, and I'm going over the image. And if you had problems with bubbles and wrinkles, this will help to disappear. To add more vintage vibe to my sign, I am also using my distressing brush, and I just added a little bit of antique wax, and I'm going around the sign. And also to seal it, I'm adding a Mod Podge, matte finish Mod Podge. I don't like the glossy finish. And that's it for this beautiful look. Today, it's time for a Easter spring look of the hook challenge that myself and my darling friends are hosting. Jackie from Crafting in Mimi's World, and Christine from DIY Craftaholic, and our guest host is Ryasha from Pretty DIYs. All their links from their channels are in my description box, along with the amazing playlist with so many talented creators. So please, after you're done watching my video, show them lots of love. Everybody works so hard on their projects. I'm gonna be working with this thrifted book decor vintage piece. I purchased it for like a couple of dollars, $2-3. After I clean it well, I'm painting the inside pages with the linen chalk paint. When it's all nice and dry, we're gonna decoupage these beautiful bird families, and I'm just adding enough amount of Mod Podge with my sponge brush and going even on those flipped pages before I add my sheet on, and make sure I got enough amount of Mod Podge before I add my sheet on it. This project was so easy to do, and like I mentioned before, when you have a nice rice sheet, you're not gonna have any wrinkles and bubbles, and it's gonna look like that piece came together originally, just like you're gonna see at the end. So first thing, I'm just going around those flipped page on the corners, because they're a little bit of tricky to work on. And then I'm going on the middle part of the book pages. And then I'm going to do the same thing on the other page as well. I want to make sure my birdie is in the center before it's all nice and smooth and glued. And that's it. I mean, there is not a big philosophy to make a decoupage piece. I'm even using my decoupage brayer. I got this one from Plaid, but you can find it in any crafting stores or online to help you smooth out your decoupage projects. For me, it's easier to smooth out the surface with my fingers first, and then if it's necessary, using the brayer, and then at the end, we can even use the parchment paper with the mini press. I mean, any kind of method will work, and the piece will be beautiful, original, unique, and it's gonna look like we made it for a high-end boutique store. I'm repeating the same thing with my second sheet, and I'm going around the edges like I did, and this one was a little bit larger on the edges, and I had to cut off just a little portion of it, but not a problem. It's not noticeable. And I'm just going around the edge before I cut it off, make sure I don't cut more than enough. And after that, I'm just gonna use my lighter to smooth out the edges and just give that vintage look to it, and we have a perfect look. I smooth out the edges with my sanding sponge, and before I do something else, I seal it with a matte finish Mod Podge. And after that, I'm gonna be creating a new bookmark. I like the golden finish, but I just wanted to give a little bit different look to it. So this tiny rope have a little bit of those Easter colors, like bluish, pinkish, yellowish, greenish, just a couple of colors in it. I know it's hard for you to see it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna tie the edges, and then I'm just gonna flip those two ropes together, braid them just like that. I'm just gonna twist them. I don't know if you can see it, just like that. And before I glue it, I want to hold it tight because it's not like a real braid, but it's like a flipped, if that makes sense. And then I'm gonna glue it in the middle part of my book. I mean, you can be creative. You can even leave that bookmark that it came with it, but I just wanted to leave and make a new look to it, refresh it. After I glued the middle part for the bookmark, I'm gonna cut off the edges, and then I'm gonna glue it in that opening hole that it's on top of the book. And I'm just gonna flip the edges so they don't separate, and that's it for the bookmark part. For extra embellishment on my book, I will be adding these peel and stick border strips that I got from Amazon, but you can find them in any hardware store. Those frames, you can use them in your walls, on furniture, or even in your decorations like I'm doing right now. So what I did is I just cut off one piece on one side, another piece on the other side, and to make it more flexible, you can even use the heating gun, so you can even smooth it out. You can even create a round shape with those silicone frames. That's how flexible they are. I really love them. And always you can use your dry clay and add some forms to it, but this time I wanted to work with those borders and see how it's gonna work. And guess what? You're gonna see me using those borders in my future projects as well, because I love them and they were not very pricey, just a couple of dollars, and I love them. I cut off the edges as a 45-degree angle, and I'm gonna finish the rest of the book ends with this frame, and I think it looks just perfect. And I like this border because it came with a golden finish. It's like white with golden finish, but also you can paint those borders in any colors that you prefer to make your project cohesive. And as you can see, I just remove a little bit of my bookmark on top of it so I can smooth out the edges, and I glue the bookmark back after my border was glued to it. This was done for less than 5 minutes, and you have a perfect, unique look to the old vintage thrifted item that we purchased, and this is proof that I'm bringing something old back to new life. And you gotta let me know, what do you think about this? Now, to add some extra vintage rustic look to it, I just add my golden finish around the edges on the pages and around the frames and the pages on the end of the book, and that's it for this beautiful creation. For my next project, I'm going to be using these food baking cups. I have those for a while, but you can find those decorative baking cups at Dollar Tree. I saw them at the Plus area for $3, but there is a lot of them with the Easter designs. I didn't want to spend extra money for it because I have those home. So I'm gonna just be using those foam balls. I'm gonna be using 1.5 for each cup. And if you haven't guessed by now, I'm gonna be making a fall cupcakes. So I glued the half of the foam ball on the bottom of my cup, and I'm gonna add the other foam ball on top of it. Now I wanna add those grass picks on my cupcake, but before that I'm gonna be adding some green moss to cover the white foam ball, and we're gonna have some beautiful spring Easter cupcake with the green frosty grass. Now that I add the moss, I'm just trimming off the edges to make it nice and straight, and after that I'm gonna add these grass picks to make sure I cover the whole ball with it. It was going to look cute just with the moss, but I just wanted to add the 3D effect with these grass edges, so that's what I'm going for. Make sure covering the whole ball, and I'm gonna do 2 of those cupcakes. Now that I cover it all, I'm gonna trim off the grass about 1 inch, ½ inch long. I want short edges. Now that I cut off the edges, with the cut off the grass, I'm just filling out the empty spaces between the grass and the moss to make it look more fuller. This is a quick process, but there is so many details to it just to get that full cute look. And after that, I'm just gonna trim off all grass edges to look equal, and now we're gonna add some embellishments. For embellishment, I picked up those Dollar Tree miniatures, bumblebees, flowers, mushrooms, butterflies, and make my cupcake look super cute and whimsical. I added a glue, and I'm just gonna glue them on top of my grass edges, and we have a perfect fall cupcake. I didn't want it to add any caulking to it. I just use a grass, foam balls, and those embellishment, and I think it looks just perfect. Let me know, what do you think about this cute idea for fall baking goodies? And that's how 2 of them looks. I'm gonna be using another baking cup, and I'm gonna be creating a mini wooden basket. I'm using these wooden sticks from Dollar Tree, and I'm gonna cover my cup with that. This is gonna be such a cute mini decor. We can add it next to our fall cupcakes that we add, or we can add it to our trier tray, and it's gonna be such a perfect detail for our upcoming spring and Easter decor. And it's so quick and easy to be done. Anybody can do it with anything that you have in your house, from trash to treasure, and you're gonna have a high-end look. For a handle, I'm gonna be using these colorful wooden beads from Dollar Tree. I use one flower peak wire. I cut it on half and I just make it in a half round circle, and I fill it out with those wooden beads. After I created the handle, I just flip it upside down. I'm gonna cut off the extra wire that is coming out of those beads, and then to make it smoother and sturdier, I just add a glue where the openings of those wood beads are, so they're not gonna fall apart. I let it dry for a little bit, and now I'm gonna glue this handle on top of my basket. To decorate it, I just fill it out with moss, and inside I'm just gonna be adding those mini cute eggs. Even they're a little bit of glittery, I like it, I don't mind, it looks perfect. I just fill it out and glue them on top of the moss. I thought I'm gonna be adding those cute mini brush carrots, but I think that's too much, so I just left it with those eggs. Also, I tied this mini rope around the basket, and that's it. Not even 5 minutes and we have a perfect look for Easter or spring. This creation is quick and easy too. You know that I love quick and easy creations since I'm very busy, so I love those for less than 5 minutes. I'm gonna be using this wooden distressed rustic sign from Walmart that I have it in my stash for a while. I'm gonna be adding those ribbon transfers birdies. I'm not sure if those are redesigned with Primas. I have them since last year, so I'm not sure, but you can find any kind of transfers. Even Dollar Tree is showing some beautiful ribbon transfers this year, so you can find them everywhere. And after I add those transfers in the middle, on the side, I'm gonna be adding those stencil designs, and I'm just adding with my sponge brush nautical paint to cover those borders, and that's it. This one is not even 2 minutes, right? But we got a perfect spring decor detail for our homes. Or you can even use them for resale if you have a booth or a store, and you can make some profit out of it. Let me know if I inspire you today with all those beautiful, whimsical, happy colors, and if I gave you an idea for you to sit down and craft some beautiful, amazing creations. And don't forget to check out my amazing darling friends, Jackie, Christine, Ryasha, and all those talented creators in the playlist. The playlist is also pinned in my comments. It's hard for you to look at the description box. And until next time, my darlings, more beautiful decorations like this coming up soon. I'm sending you lots of love, lots of music, positive energy, blessings from me to you. Bye-bye.